What's going on this morning, guys? I shot a bunch of video yesterday, kind of looking at some of the fescue, and I get a lot of the question is on my mind and in other folks' mind. Why is it turning all yellow right now? Well, I don't know if you can tell by the video, but this is part of the weather blows. But anyway, my audio was all jacked up on the stuff I recorded yesterday, so I'm going to try to piece it together and voice over on it. I haven't ever tried that before, so it could be interesting. But check it out. This could be part of your problem. Yeah, that's not good. All right, I'm gonna step into the lab over here and see what I can do to fix up some kind of video for you guys. Stay tuned. All right, here's what we're looking at here. This is fescue. All the fescue is just, I mean, it looks okay, but all of it is just kind of right now. And this part over here is centipede. It wraps around to the back of the house, but it's pretty clean. I'm going to go ahead and get a pre-emergent and the subvert root pruner preventer, the prefix on this. And pre-emergent and the prefix and fertilizer, maybe a few other things on this just to try to bring some color out in it. I'll talk a little bit about why I think the color might be, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's just the weather conditions I think have had us struggling a little bit in fescue this winter. Just a little close up. You see a lot of yellowing in it. I think a lot of that's due to just we haven't got out of the 40s in weeks, and 20s at night, that kind of thing. The cool weather and just tons of rain, even some snow for this area. And I feel like what nutrients are in here have been washed through by all the rain, and just the constant colder weather has just got it set back a bit. We're gonna pump it up. Alright, what I've loaded up here is about a ½ pound of the prodiamine water dispersible granules. That was about empty. Run a little change up. I can go over the centipede and the fescue with that with no issues. I don't see a ton of weeds, but decided to knock out any henbit or chickweed or anything like that I got popping up in there. About 2.5 pints per acre of that. And prototype of the prefix, but you can get one now labeled and everything. And I ran a little bit of MSO plus from Triangle, which is methylated seed oil and an organosilicone. All right, we're gonna roll on this with the centipede. I'm running the subvert prefix at about 1 ounce per 1,000. I actually put about 46 ounces per acre in the permagreen. The subvert root pruner preventer prefix is the name of it. It's available on the Subvert website right now too. Go there, $19.95 the shipping and handling. I don't know how much it costs, but anyway, they got it on the Subvert website right now, so go check that out. But one of the great things we did see out of you, and the Subvert prefix has got peptides in it, and one of the great things we did see about running a lot of peptides last year is it drastically increased the intervals between when the turf needed irrigation in the summer. So obviously it was doing something down there with those roots and I don't know, maybe the plant response to drought stress and all, but the fescue was really not drought stressing last year running the peptides on it. So there's something to think about going in the summer. Get your peptide power down, baby. I got to get rolling because I've been farting around with this camera stuff instead of doing work when I got nice weather. YouTube don't pay like spraying yards does, so I gotta get to work here. So I'm running the change up for a little weed control, and I can run that on the centipede and the fescue. That's why I chose that one. I got the subvert prefix in there and the pre-emergent. And I'm gonna run, oh man, RIP Carbonex, but that's Carbonex. I think I've got the last of the inventory at Carbon Earth Company. If anybody needs some, call me. Got a little bit, so call fast. All right, we'll get out and hit this fescue with this stuff. In this cooler weather, I feel like the ammonium sulfate that's in the Carbonex is going to be really what's going to be doing the heavy lifting. So it's going to be more soil stable, and it's going to hang around and be there when the weather turns. So we should be just jumping out of the ground when we get the right weather with some nice green grass. Not really much more we can do to combat, nature. So we're going to move on to another one and see what it's looking like. Seeing pretty much more of the same in this fescue. It's just there. Ain't doing a whole lot. But this one, I had already fertilized this one in January and got the pre-emergence down. So they're just waiting on better weather. So if you're experiencing similar conditions in your fescue, I think if you just get you a fertilizer down, this, an ammoniacal nitrogen like ammonium sulfate, and or maybe even a slow release urea, you'll be all right. When the weather turns around, it'll start coming out. Spring will come, folks. In December, I sprayed about 7 or 8 in this neighborhood with 4-speed and a little dethatch, and I feel like that the molasses in there might have knocked down some of the negative effects of the cooler weather just a tinge. But I'm seeing some of them that look better than other ones. So, I mean, it could be that. It could be nothing. But I also fertilized them in December. So this one's looking pretty good. Some nice green color on it. That one right there, well, I just moved on to another one. This one, same thing. It got sprayed with the 4-speed. Had a little Carbonex thrown down on it and a little, about 32 ounces an acre of the dethatch with the molasses in it. Nice thick yard, but it's still showing some of that yellowing. I'm ready for spring. This one right here, I sprayed for the first time. It had barely any kind of yard, just weeds, and that 4-speed knocked down a lot of it. I went ahead on this day and made another application of the 4-speed and got the pre-emergent out on this yard. And I'd fertilized it pretty heavy. The color was actually, in what's there, wasn't very bad, but man, we murdered some weeds in that yard. Check it out. About them apples. Dye weeds. There's just a look at some of them. I mean, we did what we could. I mean, some nice weather is really the only thing that's gonna turn those yards around for sure. I mean, to get them to where I'm happy with them. The wet roots just depriving the plants of oxygen. The cold weather. I mean, they're just gonna look like that. I haven't seen fescue yellow up like that, and I've been around a good bit this week, and it looks like that just about everywhere. So we just wait for spring. I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks. Well, the weather's stinking for green grass. Some brisket to work on. By the time I take this thing in.